How's it going, everyone? Jesus here, aka Tyrant Dominus, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. Honestly, Anchor is a very enjoyable platform to be on, listen on, and just a joy to be a part of this community. Anchor, come check us out. And welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to bring you another movie review. This time around, we're going to be doing a direct-to-video film, straight out of nowhere. Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. What a title. Well, I've seen longer titles. But yeah, what an interesting film. I got to watch this with my nephew when he was actually trying to pay attention, but yeah, it's an interesting one. It does gauge younger audience for sure. I'm glad it does. Noting that my nephew's currently like 1 as of watching this, so he was like, okay, pretty colors, sure. But yeah, straight out of nowhere. We're just gonna call it that. So Scooby-Doo has always been a character, and the group has always been the gang has always been unanimous of always meeting up different characters from different franchises. They have met Batman, they have met WWE people. Like there are so many different like they met I don't think the brothers let me see if they have a good list. Let's see here. So let's just do a couple. Let's see here. The Stranger Things one was interesting. Let's see here. So here are I'm just gonna do a quick list before we get into the movie. So Scooby-Doo has met Steve Urkel. I don't think I've seen that one actually. Scooby-Doo meets Blue Falcon and Dynamite. That's like their in-game, not the in-film thing. I know I've seen them in the original. I haven't seen the new film. I might actually watch the new film go into that. Meet Harvey Birdman. That is funny. I think that was part of Harvey Birdman attorney at law. Meets Johnny Bravo. That's a new one. And like I mentioned before, they meet Batman multiple times actually. Meets the Addams Family. Yes, I have seen that one. The Winchester Brothers. There's the Supernatural episode. The Harlem Globetrotters. I forgot about this one. I remember. I love that. What else have they met? Bobby Flay and Gleda de Laurenis? Chef. Interesting. I don't think I've seen that one. Direct video. Gourmet Ghost. I have not seen that one. Scooby-Doo meets the Teen Titans, like the new Teen Titans Go. Interesting. I have not seen that one. It was an episode. Okay. Not Teen Titans. Meet WWE, like I said before, and Meet Kiss. I have seen that for sure. These are some of the, like I mentioned, they've met a lot of people, and once again, they have met another character, Courage the Cowardly Dog. Now this was interesting because I would say I enjoyed Scooby-Doo growing up. I think almost everyone has. Scooby-Doo has this formula of always there's a mystery, need to find out what it is, get into some shenanigans, and at the end of the day you find out who the masked villain is, right? And then during the next era of cartoons, Courage the Cowardly Dog was one of my favorite cartoon dogs as well during the next era of growing up, because the universe that the creators did for Courage the Cowardly Dog was so creepy, so weird, and it left it left nightmare fuel for a lot of people, myself included, and I just like the lore that came out with that universe of Nowhere. And getting these two together was interesting in this film. This film's not really that long. It's like let me see, it's like an hour or something. See how long this film ran for. It didn't feel like 72 minutes, so yeah, just a little over an hour. And to kind of get to the point, the premise is when the Mystery Inc. gang follows Scooby-Doo to Nowhere, Kansas, they stumble upon a cursed object located in the Baggins farm that garners the attention of cicada armies, leaving Scooby-Doo and friends to team up with Courage and his owners, Eustace and Muriel Baggs, to stop the swarm's manifestation. So yeah, it's one of those things, Scooby-Doo's acting weird because it's this weird like sound that only like animals can hear, that both Courage and Scooby can only hear. And it leads the gang to the house in Nowhere. I didn't know it was Kansas. I didn't really ever looked into it, but I love that. At least I learned a little bit there. And this film has all of the shenanigans that is Scooby-Doo, with all the fun references of Courage the Cowardly Dog. They did a really interesting job in trying to just shove a ton of references from Courage's universe into this. And they didn't really do too much of Scooby-Doo references. They kind of do back and forth on little things. But it's like heavy on the lore of Courage the Cowardly Dog. For the most part, like, it's the gang trying to figure out where these cicada armies are coming from. And it's fun because Nowhere is such nightmare fuel, weird, strange, and what's causing it. And it kind of shows you, like, this is the reason Nowhere is so weird. It's because of this like certain thing. And now they have to figure out who's controlling the cicadas and who's involved, because it does become a Scooby-Doo mystery. And for the most part, if you've watched some classic or even more recent Scooby-Doo, they give you enough clues to kind of figure out who is the culprit. Like, maybe when you were younger, you're just trying to like, oh, what's happening? But actually, more recently, if you actually paid attention to a lot of the things, they did a decent job hinting little clues for audiences to like, oh, so that's why. That makes sense. So for this one, it was interesting to figure out who done it. And there was a lot of things. The gang was trying to figure out like what's happening, because they were trying to put the sense into this. Kind of, if anyone watched the Supernatural episode, and that one was kind of weird because there was a real ghost. They've done that before with the Ghost Island one. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's one of my favorite ones because there was an actual spirits and stuff. But yeah, this one's just a fun show, movie, with it just shenanigans. Like, Scooby-Doo and Courage play off each other so well, and the only thing I was hoping for is kind of the Courage laugh when he gets hurt, just his like injured laugh. We got a couple of his other like signature like animations and stuff and sounds, but besides that, there's just I was hoping for the hurt Courage laugh, just because it's funny. Besides that, you got Frank Welker back as Scooby-Doo and Fred. Always a wonderful thing to always have them, because they're kind of like key to Scooby-Doo. Like he is the voice of Scooby-Doo, and Fred. But like, when I hear, everyone knows what Scooby-Doo sounds like, so I'm glad they picked them up. And just like I said, without really going into spoilers, because it is kind of a little mystery, and it is a fun kids film. The thing is, all these kind of Scooby-Doo films is a lot of like direct-to-film, and I think, yeah, that's fine. This one doesn't really need to be in cinema. It's pretty short, pretty simplistic, and yeah, the only thing, there's actually one negative I didn't like. They had 2 musicals in this thing, and the Eustace ones was frustrating, and like, really, Alright. You know, when you get Houston rapping, why? I'll spoil that. Yeah, he raps, and it's like, it's not bad, but it's not good. It's pretty cringe. I'm gonna lie, it's kind of cringe. Besides that, the mystery's fun, the references are fun, and the gang just trying to make sense of nowhere is great. The climax, the finale is fantastic. I really love it. It's fun, and once you figure out who the culprit is, and it's like, oh, okay, I should have seen it, because it's like, it's one of those things, like they've done, the writers have done for a long time a reasonable good job with these kind of mysteries, Scooby-Doo mysteries, where they give you enough clues to figure out who done it and why, and they did a decent job here to, like, oh yeah, damn it. I should have figured that out. Yep, should have figured that out. So for this one, for just being a fun kids film, I'm gonna give this one, you know, surprisingly, I'm gonna give this one a solid 8 out of 10. It was a great film for what it was. For a Scooby-Doo crossover with Courage the Cowardly Dog, it was a fun film, a lot of fun references, reasonably fun action, a few little cringy things. Could it have been longer? It could, but I think it would be stretching it a little too much for these types of films. Scooby-Doo films don't need to be that long. Unless there's a little bit more intrigue. This one was just a fun back and forth. The gang with Muriel and Eustace were okay. There was some back and forth, but not really. It's like one of those things, like, what would Eustace do when there's actually company around and he just ignores them? Like, all right, that's weird. Besides, it was mostly really just watching Scooby-Doo and Courage together doing stuff with Shaggy along the way. But for sure, it's the two boys, the two dogs together, and it's fun. For sure, it's fun. Great film. Besides that, thank you again for listening or watching, depending if you're listening to any podcast listening site or watching this on YouTube. Thank you. As always, let me know what you thought about the film. Are you gonna watch it? Have you watched it? Let me know in the Instagram comments or the Twitter feed this is linked to. So, until next time, see ya.